Will now be recorded.
Welcome to Cloudpandith training team. In today's session, we will talk about pipelines and activities in Azure Data Factory with respect to a real world perspective. In this video, we will learn what is a pipeline, what is an activity, how execution flow works, and what are the best practices we need to follow when we are developing the data pipelines in Azure Data Factory. So in this session, we are going to understand Azure Data Factory pipelines and activities from a real world perspective. So first, let's understand the differentiation between the orchestration and execution team. Remember, Azure Data Factory is not a data processing engine. It does not transform or compute data by itself. So ADF is an orchestration tool. Its responsibility is to decide what should run, when it should run, what should happen if something failed. So here pipeline acts like a container. Activities are the actual workers that performs the task. So the summary for this slide is ADF is an orchestration tool, not a data processing engine. Pipeline is a container. Activity is a actual worker. Let's deep dive into pipeline. So a pipeline in Azure Data Factory is a logical container that groups multiple activities together. You can have a copy activity, then you can have a stored procedure activity to collect the logs, then you can run a notebook activity. In case if this is failed, you can use a web activity to trigger a logic app, which internally calls the notification, right? So this is how our pipeline logically it's a kind of a pipeline is called as a logical container that groups the multiple activities together. So the main role is to control the execution flow. This includes deciding the order of execution, managing the dependency. See, order of execution, if you see, first copy activity, next stored procedure, next notebook, if everything goes smooth. If it is failed, then it is going to trigger the notification. Similarly, it will handle the errors. How it will handle? For example, there is a we are reading data from particular source, but we have some issue with that source connection, intermittent issue. After 30 seconds, if you can able to retry, it will success. So what you can do, you can use a retry mechanism within the copy activity, so that it will retry after 30 seconds and pipeline will be able to fetch data successfully. So that's how we need to handle the errors as well. So like you need to understand, we use these particular pipelines to implement a orchestration logic such as running activities sequentially or in parallel, handling retries and errors. So if you see sequential means like copy activity one, if it is succeeded, you run the second copy activity. This is called a sequential. Parallel means you can put, if there is no dependency, you can put copy activity one and copy activity two. These two run in parallel. Okay, right. Now let's understand activities. So activities are the actual workers inside a pipeline team. So these are responsible for doing the real work. So ADF provides three different types of activities. One is data movement, like copy activity is the example for data movement. Then data transformation, you have a data flows, notebook activities, example for data transformations. And then control flow, we have a if activity. If this is the case, you run this. If source is SFTP, run the SFTP copy activity. Source is ADLS, run ADLS copy activity. Like that, we can control the flow using if, switch, filter. So many control flow activities also we have. So the important point to remember here is we discussed a pipeline. So these pipelines do not move or transform the data, but these activities are going to do the actual data movement transformation based on the certain conditions. If you have certain condition, you can put it. If you don't have any condition, directly also you can able to run. Now let's understand the dependencies between these activities. So dependencies decides when the next activity should run. For example, you have a copy activity, then you have a notebook activity. What you will do, if it is a success, if you put a relation is success, then success means You run the next activity only if the previous one is succeeded. You can also put a relation is failure. Failure means you run the next activity only if the previous one is failed. As I said, if copy activity is failed, I am using web activity to trigger notification. If it is succeeded means I am taking the logs using stored procedure. You also have a something called completion between the copy activity and let's say notebook activity. You can put a completion. Completion means irrespective of whether copy activity is completed or it is meaning succeeded or failed, doesn't matter, you are running the notebook activity. Similarly, you also have a skipped means you have two copy activities. This copy activity is failed, as a result this is not running. If this is skipped, you can run the notebook. If you have such scenarios also, we will see very oftenly. um, so what is skipped? Skipped means, remember, it did not fail, it did not succeeded, it simply did not run. That is the meaning of the skipped, right? If you have any doubts about any of the slide or any questions, please put your questions in the comment section. I will respond to it. Now let's understand parallel versus sequential execution. Right? In parallel execution, activities are independent and run at the same time. If you see, this is copy activity, this copy activity, we don't have any dependency, right? So both are going to run at the same time. So in sequential execution, if you see, this copy activity is running until this is succeeded, this copy activity is waiting. Until this is succeeded, this copy activity is waiting. So that's how in sequential execution, activities are dependent and run one after the another. We choose the execution model based on data dependencies and business logics. We will be going with this particular flow. So the best practices, right? So you need to keep pipelines small and focused, right? If it is small pipeline, it is easy to understand, right? So that's why we need to keep the pipeline small and focused. Second thing is, you must have to use a parameter instead of hard coding the values in the pipeline to make the pipeline is dynamic. And third point, if you see, you have to avoid hard coding credentials, paths, and sensitive information. Always read the sensitive information from the keyword. So that's how you need to follow these guidelines before you develop any data pipelines. So next session, we will create our first real pipeline using the copy activity. So as you know, attempt the MCQs that I'm going to show you now. So passing score is going to be 7 out of 10. Okay, if the score is below 7, please rewatch this session. Low score doesn't mean that you failed him, it means rewatch once again. So feel free to comment your scores in the comment section. If you like the MCQs in document format, you can optionally join our WhatsApp or Telegram group. That links are provided in the description. So in a final 1 minute, quickly, what I wanted to do is I want to show you here. So whatever I have explained, right? For example, if you see, we have a copy activity, right? And then I have a notebook activity. So you can see your four statuses that I've shown you. This is skipped. You can connect a skipped, or you can connect a success. This is indicates a success. You can see this indicates a failure. I have given clear explanation for each of this connection. So from one activity to another activity, if you want to connect, these are the four ways we have. I have given a clear explanation for each of this. This is called a dependency way to run. But if you want to run without dependency, it will be something like this. Maybe copy activities running. Okay, two copy activities. This is copying data from SFTP. This is copying data from SAP source. So two copy activities running in parallel. You can put it. No, my data first comes into the SFTP. Once SFTP data is loaded, then only SAP data will be available. Then put dependency like this. This is first loads SFTP, then SAP data. So we will discuss more such real-time scenarios in upcoming sessions. I request everybody to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel and support team. Thank you all.